I did a little test of this recording method with the microphone that I currently have set up through a webcam, and to me, the audio sounds pretty bad. So I apologize in advance if what I'm about to do is a waste of your time. So here we go. Looking at this wall of the kitchen, I figured I'd record myself doing a little bit of work and kind of explain a little bit about what I've done up until this point. So this is a elevation view of this, looking at this wall, and then down here on the floor where my mouse is a plan view looking down what the makeup of all the cabinets in the face frame and the countertop overhang, what that all looks like given the space that I have established here. So obviously the model that I built, the walls that are here, location of the beam, all that kind of stuff is obviously based around exact dimensions taken from the job site. So I went there, took, I don't know, maybe 50, 60 measurements over everything, floor areas, wall heights, where the windows were, and basically compiled all that information into this SketchUp model that we're gonna kind of fly around for a quick second here. So I'll back out a little bit. This part has a ceiling on it, so you can't see down through it right now, but you can see there's the plan view of the island right here. This is the cleat that I screw to the floor and then screw the cabinets to as a way of keeping the island secure in place. The rest of it will float out on feet and the toe kick will get clipped to that. This over here, flying around, is the bar area that I did. Basically, you can still see on the ground here the remnants left over of how I basically just built this right on top, and then in front of the two views, we'll do the same thing when we spin back around and start working there. But you can see this is kind of what we're working towards as A-ball cabinet style, what the cabinets are going to look like, the style of the doors, everything else, but also exactly what I need to cut and make to make this fit in the house at the job site, so it all works and looks right, and all the spacing from the corner and everything's just correct. You have to basically build this model in such a way that every single piece of this is a component. So we'll hop into it real quick. So I made the whole thing into a component. We'll jump in, double click to open it, and then you're going to look, and each piece, when you click on it, is its own thing, even the countertop. So we can jump in, let's see, so like this piece here, double click on it, that is a component. So when I go later into my software and pop it into Open Cut List, I can read all the components in my model, and since each piece of this is its own individual thing, I'll be able to look, or the software will be able to look at it and know, okay, this is what you need to cut, and then it optimizes it for the size sheets that you have and all this other stuff. We can get into that as a separate kind of topic, but essentially you have to build the model in a certain way that you can tell that piece of the program what you want. And then in turn, it'll turn around and tell you the best way to break down your sheet goods and even your face frame material in order to get the maximum yield, least amount of waste, which is obviously what everyone's trying to do: save money, save material, everything else. Being green is saving green, so we're trying to do our best over here to minimize, wasting anything. So that type of, forethought and planning can really help when you're getting into building custom cabinets and, not wasting a bunch of time when you're getting into the milling and the construction of the boxes. If you know piece by piece exactly what you need, it'll all be printed out and you can go from there and just basically follow the instructions. Makes it pretty simple. This obviously isn't simple to make, but once you've done it, it makes your job going forward a lot simpler. So here we go. We'll spin around. And yes, I am still very much a novice when it comes to flying around with the Space Mouse. So I apologize if I'm making you seasick with my erratic motions. So what I was tending to do with the other boxes was I was starting with the lowers, and then I was also just pulling a guide essentially up from here, starting with each side, pulling those out straight, labeling them as components, naming them as to what they are, and I guess instead of talking about it, we might as well just start doing it. So this, like I said before, this is a cleat that I will eventually, screw to the wall in the real job site. And for right now, I'm going to just, oops. There we go, triple click it. Hide it for now because it's going to be in my way when I'm trying to do what I'm trying to do here, which is click out of all this stuff. So when you get into making a bunch of components, sometimes, as you can see, you end up with quite a few kind of like subsets of things, and you got to kind of back out of them, I guess is the easiest way to say it. So we have our height established right here as where the top of the bottom piece of plywood will be. So we'll come down from right here, 0.75, enter. We'll go this way, 0.75, enter, and we'll go all the way up to the bottom of the cabinets, which in this case is 30 and 5/8. That's what my sides are going to be for this job. So we'll go back down, make that a rectangle. P for push-pull. We're going to push-pull this out, and the way that you can kind of use what you've already done is you can go and reference these points. So you can see I'm not like touching it, I'm not connected to it, but I can go and pull this out a prescribed distance because I know from all this layout on the floor, this is how deep I want these sides to be. So we'll take that. That looks good. Triple click it, right click it, make a component. And this area, we're going to call this the coffee base. And since this is the left side, we will name it as such. So now you can see kind of has a little bit of a different look to it. Not right now, but when you click on it, you can't actually do anything to it until you double click on it, and then it does this kind of special box that shows you that this is really all you're working on. Anything that's in this bounded dotted line area is what's going to be affected, but we're not interested in doing that for right the second. We've created it, that's enough for the moment, and named it. So carrying on, we'll continue, do something very similar. Right here, you got to make sure I have all these little tiny reveals that you're grabbing the right spot, because it's very easy to start making a mess if you just put your lines wherever. You got to be careful. And I know if you're not familiar with SketchUp, it looks like I'm basically just drawing over what's there, which is exactly what I'm doing technically. Because like I said before, that all stuff is in a component, so whatever I'm drawing on top of it will be its own independent thing. So it's not connected. And this, actually, I forgot I left this line on that one, so that's fine. And then we'll go do this again, triple click to select the whole thing, right click, make component. This side we'll do coffee, coffee base, right side, enter. That's good. And now we'll pop our bottom in. And since we start to have a little bit of stuff, you'll see I'll start to do some rectangles instead of drawing all the lines, because sometimes it can be a little bit faster. Coffee base bottom, okay. pop up here. Actually, we're gonna throw the back in right now. Once again, make sure you're getting into this very corner. Looks like there's nothing there until you push pull it. 0.75, enter. I do 3/4 sides, bottoms, backs, and then for the lowers, for the tops, just to save a little bit of material, make them a little bit lighter to carry, I'll go ahead and basically I'll throw a, usually let's say 6, 0.75, enter. These are basically just, oh wait. See, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let me go back. I'm talking and I'm forgetting to do the important stuff. Coffee, base, back, create. Because if I didn't and I kept going and I went on and did the that rectangle that I did, you will have some issues. So this will be coffee base, back stretcher. Then we'll go here. We'll do another one of these right there. Pull that baby across. Component. This will be coffee, base, front, stretcher. Whoops. Stretcher, create. All right, so that's kind of your basic cabinet construction, the way that I do it. So all these connections here will be dominoed, countersink screwed, all the same. Same thing going into the back, same thing going into these stretchers. So everything will align perfectly. I'll run the domino there, run the domino there. You guys get it. Screw everything together, no glue. It's not going anywhere. So that's good for your box. Then I guess we will, let's see, we can toss a face frame on this. So we'll go up here and we'll do, you're gonna tell it what plane you want to be in. I want to be in the blue plane, and we want to go two, 1, enter. Then we'll push pull that. The box is 30 and 5/8. We have a 1-inch overhang, so we want 31.625, enter. There is your coffee base left style. Enter. Okay, that is good. And as I make this, I already know I'm going to come back in here and edit this because we're going to do one frame for this whole thing. It's kind of hard to explain, but you'll see. We'll do this. Same thing, press blue. Excuse me, press the up arrow to get blue. It locks it onto that plane so you don't have to worry about where your mouse is. We'll do the same thing. Line it up with this. Triple click, right click, make component, coffee, base, right, style, enter. Okay, so that's good. Now we can go, we'll throw our face frame across. We'll go here. We'll go 1.5, 1, enter. Push pull that over to here. triple click, right click. We'll do coffee, oops, coffee, base, top, rail. Great. We'll hop to the bottom. We'll go, this is 1.75, comma 1, enter. Push pull there. Now we have to fit in our next. Rail coming across, our mid rail, here we go. Bring that across. Okay, we got coffee base. Enter. Forgot to do the bottom rail, which if it's not touching the next thing, isn't the biggest deal. You can always go back as long as it's not stuck to something else. That thing was by itself down there, so I was able to go back. And a quick way to check is that if you click on it, everything lights up. The reason I knew before is when I clicked down here, only that front line was on, it was blue. Okay, so quick check here, just because I'm curious. So 31 and a quarter. It's gonna be a nice big old drawer here. Probably filled up with Keurig pods because we're gonna do a coffee thing on top of this. So, all right. So now that's all set. We will. I'm not gonna build the drawer boxes because it's not really helpful for what I'm trying to get out of this software right now, which is, like I said before, cut sheets and information about door sizes and stuff like that. So, the more beneficial thing to do here is just pop in your doors in drawer fronts the way that I'm about to do it here. So grabbing it, dragging it, filling in these to start. Now we'll split this down the middle. Whoops. We'll split this down the middle. Find your midpoint, it'll light up. There it is. Drop down to there. Whoops. There we go. Okay, now, whoop, something was wrong there. Hold on, let me delete that line. It didn't. You see how I didn't split that face? Come on, dude. Gotta go there. Something happened where I didn't snap to the right thing. There we go. So now it's split into two. So what you can do here is basically, this is how I make all my doors quickly. So start off with your reveal, and actually as I just said this, as I'm saying this and doing this right now, I'm realizing it's not a huge deal. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, so these doors here are actually going to be wrong, which is annoying. So I gotta remember to go back and change these doors because I'll show you why they're gonna be wrong and how we're gonna try to fix it. So what I was doing was splitting this in half and offsetting. So I started off, I did a 332, enter, space, double click, same offset. So if you look in tight, you get your nice 3/32 reveal around your door. What I'm referring to by those other doors being wrong is that I also want this space here to be 3/32. So I know I'm getting a little bit annoying here by doing this, but essentially what I'm gonna have to do is, this is currently 3/16, So I'm going to have to move this side of this one in and this side of this one in 3/64, I believe, which is crazy. So let's see what SketchUp is going to say when I try to do this real quick. So let's see. So we're going to grab this line, and we're going to move it this way, and we're going to type in 3/64, enter, and then we're going to go move this one 3/64, enter, and that looks like the same reveal everywhere. So now we got to go in and delete these extra lines. Since it's a rectangle inside a rectangle, you have to take these out, or they're going to be part of the component, which is going to probably mess up the, I don't know for sure, but I'm going to go ahead and assume it's probably going to mess up the Cutlass software and really confuse it. So something weird is going on here. Oh. Wait. Huh. Something's up with this thing right now. I don't know what's up with it, but we're gonna keep going for a minute and see. I don't know what's going on with it. Hopefully it's fun. Alright, well whatever, back to the doors. We fixed our gap problem. So back to this. So we can keep offsetting these. I actually want to offset this one too. While we have it, and then get in there and delete these extra lines. I might have clicked on the wrong thing at one point and deleted something by accident. That's the only thing I can think, is why that thing down the bottom is being a little weird. But we'll see. All right, so the drawer face, super simple. It's a slab drawer. So we're gonna push pull it out 1 inch, so it's flush with the face frame. Triple click it, make component, coffee, base, drawer, front, create. Okay, now go down here, push pull, 1 enter, double click, same thing. Okay, now we'll switch to offset. We offset first 2 inches, enter, double click, same thing. Inside here, 0.25, enter, double click, same thing. Go in here, 1.25, enter. Over here, double click, same thing. All right, so this is the trick to making these, instead of being flat, I gotta get something to drink. Instead of these being flat, we're gonna do a move, and then you're gonna go in the, I think it's the green, yep, back a 1/4 inch. So that way there, I'll do it again on this one, select these, holding shift, these 4 lines. This is representing the inside of my shaker bevel. And I'm going ahead and grabbing the move tool, going on the green. And you basically just gotta kind of try to push it in the right direction that you want it to go, which sometimes, depending on your camera angle, there we go, is a giant pain. And then you just type in what you want, 0.25. All right, so let's get out of that for a second. And now we have doors that have profile to them, so they have a little bit of recessed. Like you can see these ones over here are made the same way, but they're not pulled out. They're just flat against the wall, so they look kind of very boring. These ones have a nice detail, just like the real doors will have when we get to that. So, all right, so triple click, make component. We want coffee, base, right door, create. We want coffee, base, left door, create. All right, so I think that about covers enough to kind of understand what I've done here, why I did what I did before this, and why that makes doing what I just did relatively quick. Every single piece of this cabinet is now a component, like we talked about, and it's going to be nice and easy to go ahead and produce cut list sheets, know what I need to cut for face frame parts, know my door sizes, which will go into a separate calculator to figure out the parts and pieces of those and how to make these doors properly from rough materials. So it's all about kind of using the tools you have available, schooling yourself up enough to where you're somewhat proficient with it, and then understanding, through talking to other people, like what extensions you can use to make it even more of a powerful tool. So the way that I did this was all in service of more steps down the road that will really just be helpful when it comes time to actually go ahead and make this cabinet and, like I said, not waste a bunch of time and or money or material making them incorrectly. So we won't forget to go back, adjust these doors, bring these each in 3/64, slide it in. So we'll do that afterwards. So, all right, well, thank you. If anybody hung around for, I don't even know how long this video is, hopefully you learned something. See you next time.